Welcome back to Creatives in the Spotlight. Now, today we've got James Hurley, which is actually no blood relation, but he's family in film. So, James, say hi to everybody.
What's up, everybody?
James is an actor, an editor, and you've done quite a bit in the film industry over the past few years, haven't you? Yeah. So, what inspired you to get into film?
Wow, that's a good question. It started from an early age, like probably when I was maybe like 15 years old, and what I wanted to do was start getting into acting because throughout my life, my dad would encourage me because he liked how I could imitate character voices. He loved how I could memorize lines. And even my old school teachers, they were really impressed with how I'm very good at articulating lines and following like how I'm supposed to like move and everything. So I kind of started off small. I started off with doing some stuff like small little plays at like these art museums and little school centers. It was great. It was good exposure for me to, get used to the spotlight and have a lot of people watching me. Because it was very nerve-wracking. It was not easy.
That's usually the hardest thing for anybody to overcome in the industry when you're standing in front of all these people and
fight the temptation to wave at my parents.
You're doing take after take.
Yeah.
And, eventually you kind of just ignore everybody that's watching and just get into that groove.
Oh, yeah.
Now, as far as editing goes, you've done a lot of editing on the side, right?
Yeah, and I know that there's been a lot of people that have asked me, did I go to school for it? And the truth is, no, I didn't go to school for it. It's like
a natural gift.
It was a natural God-given gift. And honestly, it's like it came out of nowhere, and I didn't even start. Well, hold on. I was going to say I didn't put it to the test until a few years ago, but the truth is I actually have been editing videos probably since I was maybe 17 or 18 years old. And it was just for something small. Like, I don't know if anyone remembers, but like back on YouTube, before they got strict with their copyright on songs, there was that thing where you could, take clips of a character you love in movies or TV and put it to to a background song to like
right.
From in my case I would do like Linkin Park, Breaking Benjamin, so on and so forth, and it would be like to like Star Wars characters like Luke Skywalker or do Batman characters, and I would always do that thing where I match the lyrics to try to match the character scenes, kind of like how I do with reels and stuff. It's so yeah, I would say that I've been doing it since I was 17.
You really do an amazing job with the reels. I mean, you've done
you.
So many for me and friends that I have in the film industry, and man, we can't give you enough props really because the reels turn out fantastic. It really helps with us getting the public to know and realize what it is we do, and all the different projects that we've been in and the characters that we play. And it's really amazing the work that you've done. And, as far as affordability goes, you are very competitive in hooking these people up at a rate that we can afford because, in this industry, we're not rolling in cash, and it's hard, especially when you're starting out. You've been in it for a few years, you start really getting these paying gigs, and directors and casting agents, they see you, and then you start getting a little bit of more money and a little more money, and
I know, if I could get more of those, that'd be great.
Right. Well, then you're looking at hey, can I quit my day job yet?
Yes. That's exactly
that's
what I would
the
like.
ultimate goal, right?
That would be the ultimate goal.
But you do an amazing job with the editing, and so many of us are so grateful for it, and especially being competitive in your pricing, because there's a lot of people out there that they want to charge you an arm and a leg to edit a few reels or make a few reels, and it's like, oh, really? And you've really gotten out there and gotten your name out there with a lot of really good, talented actors, and it's showing. And I can't give you enough props for that, honestly.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, I mean, as I say it to you and everyone else, I do it for all of you because I'm trying to help y'all look desirable for film. I want, like if you're friends with directors or producers, I want them to see these reels and see the potential, not just in my editing, but in all your skills.
Yeah, and what you can bring to the table for
absolutely.
their project. Right. That's awesome. So as far as filming goes, what has been your biggest challenge?
Wow, that's a good question. You know, sometimes I ask myself that all the time because it kind of just depends on what the scenario is. Like, if we're like shooting a movie, I guess the biggest challenge is, you know, putting up with people either not showing up on time or, you know, memorizing their lines. Because I'm thinking to myself, you know, we have a schedule to keep, and out of respect for whoever the director is, you know, we need to all give it our all. And if someone is not doing a good job at that, then that affects everyone, not just them.
Yeah.
But then sometimes when it comes to another challenge I face in filming, it could just be just like a different feel for like if I'm editing something and it's for a particular genre that I am not accustomed to doing. Like, for example, I'm so accustomed to doing action films, but if I do something out of the ordinary, like a rom-com, that's a totally different field. I've actually had this happen before. I've had some directors contact me and say, "Hey, James, we know that your background is action, and we think your editing is amazing, but could you please slow the scene down a little bit? You're editing it a little too fast, like it's an action scene." And I'm like, "I'm very sorry. I'll do my best to slow them down a little bit." Right.
Well, you know, and their vision for their film is quite a bit different than what somebody else would put on their plate as far as putting it together and getting it across. So yeah, I can see where that would be a little bit challenging.
Absolutely. And I guess probably like the biggest one of all, because that one I get a lot of contact for is definitely sound, because I want to make sure that the sound is I want it to sound very fluid, very you know, good for everyone to hear. And the best payoff for me is if it sounds good in a theater, then I've done my job well.
Right.
I mean, we've released a couple of films in the theaters before, and my sound paid off, which I'm very proud of. Even in my home theater, you know, if my dad likes it, then, you know, my dad's my best critic. So, hey, Dad, if my dad loves it, then I definitely have made him proud.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, but sound is also a major factor. It just really depends on, you know, what the scene is, and, you know, how I'm supposed to make it sound very, very, you know, like match it to what's going on. But you get what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as far as say a rewarding experience, what is your greatest reward in the film industry?
Wow. I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to make it about me, but like, as long as people love the product, like if they love our hard work and they want to distribute it and you know, sell it and everything, that's the best reward, because that means that people are gonna get to see our stuff and really, you know, get to enjoy what we bring to the table. And I love it. I love the thrill that when we get this all done and I get to share it with my fans on YouTube, with my family and my friends and everything. It's rewarding that they get to check it out and see what I've done, what my team has done. That's what makes it so rewarding. I mean, you know, a little extra cash that we get along the way helps, but the exposure, in my opinion, is very rewarding.
It really is, and it pays off in the end.
It does.
You know, the more exposure you have, the more you're going to get out there and get known. They're going to appreciate your work, and it's going to get you more business in the long run. You know, there's films that I've done for absolutely free, and you know, they're like, "Well, how much you get paid for that?" And I'm like, you know, believe it or not, I did that one for nothing. And they're like, "What?" I'm like, yeah, you know, because you're building your resume, you're building experience. If you've not gone to school for this, then the best experience is hands-on. And a lot of us just get in there and grab the bull by the horns, and you know, we experience it, we learn, we evolve and become what it is that we wanted to become.
Absolutely.
You know, so as far as editing goes, what has been your greatest challenge?
That's a very good question. Man, I want to say the editing challenge right now currently is for this rom-com that I'm doing called Right on Time, directed by Oliver Crooms and his friend Jolie. Crud, I cannot remember her.
Jolie, what is it, Cypher?
I think so. Jolie, if you're watching this, please do not be mad at me.
And I've worked with Jolie too. I feel bad. I can't. You know, I'm horrible with names.
Okay,
Faces, I never forget.
I'm just gonna say.
But Jolie and Ollie, yeah, okay.
Jolie and Ollie, that's how I'll say it. And even though they are amazing to work with, and I truly appreciate the opportunity that they have given me as an editor, it's because this is a rom-com, the editing challenge is so different for me, because it's obviously, you know, a lot of dramatic scenes I got to edit, and I'm trying not to make them so fast. I want to be able to draw this. I want to draw these scenes out to make sure that there's, you know, a lot of, you know, chemistry with the actors, and enough to give the characters enough time for the audience to bond with and feel that connection to.
Right.
Which I have never really had to do before. Well,
big difference in action and romance.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, then again, I do remember, but it was only one scene when you and I were doing Your It together, directed by our good friend Ron Rossman. Hey, Ron. And there was one scene that I was given freedom to work on, and it was of our friend Daphne Reeder. I hope I pronounced that last name right.
Reeder,
yeah. And she was doing a scene where she's confiding. Not confiding. Like, she's talking to our friend Amy Colt, amazing actress.
Yes,
and
Amy is.
Yeah, and they're talking, and what I'm trying to do is make sure that there's enough space between them, between like how they're saying their lines, because they're kind of like having a bit of like a discussion and also a bit of like a, I don't know, not an argument, like a, I don't know. And so I need to I don't want to cut it too fast where there's not enough time for the character to react and for the audience to react. I want them to be able to be like, did she just say that to her? That kind of thing. That's kind of line I'm trying to make sure I put across. But yeah, it's always a challenge when I do dramatic scenes. I think that's the challenge, and it can be for whatever. It can be horror, rom-coms, or even action too. So.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I believe you played a part in Your It as well. We've been in several productions together.
We have.
And I've been in a production with Jolie and Ollie. Not the same production, just different productions.
Right.
And I've worked with them and Ronald Rossman and several others that you mentioned. And it's fun. You know, you get to really meet a lot of neat people in this industry. You get to, you know, learn their quirks, their do's and their don'ts.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's something that you learn every day in this
Right.
industry.
Well, man, it's like the first production that we did together. What was it? Was it Devil's Daughter?
Yeah, The Devil's Daughter.
I will never forget how, because I remember when I first met you on set, I was very intimidated by you.
Well, everybody was like, well, the stripper cop's here. And I'm like, ugh.
Well, I was very nervous to talk to you because I thought that you were going to be one of those, like, there have been some actors I've met that were just like you, where they're very big and bulky and they're jerks in real life. And I'm not going to say their names, but when you and I got to get to know each other better, it's like, oh my gosh, not only do him and I have the same name, but we're like, I bond with you like a brother already. And then we started hanging out since.
Yeah. And in fact, I think we're going to do some hanging out this weekend while you're in town. Maybe.
Yeah.
I was checking out the go-kart track in Charlotte, and I'm like, I'm not going to mention the name because I can't, but but I think we're going to get together and go hang out some this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
But in all of your film experience, I'm going to have to say, what was your favorite production?
Yeah, I figured you were going to ask that. That's the hardest question for me, because it's like I'm proud of everything I've done.
Right.
I mean, sure, there may have been some kinks in some productions, and yeah, I do believe that maybe a few of them could have been done a bit better had we had better technology, but I'm still proud of what we've done. But I'm very stuck in between either Your It that we did together or another one that we did together, Spider-Man 2 Spiders.
Yeah, I was in that one too.
Yeah, you were the Punisher.
Yeah, for a brief moment.
Exactly. But it's different. Like, I was very proud of Spider-Man because when we had that grand opening night and we had so many kids come for this event.
Oh, they loved it.
They loved it. And like, this felt like a dream come true to me because I always wanted to do a Spider-Man movie because he's one of my favorite Marvel characters. And when I see kids and their parents come and watch this and they're cheering for the scenes we've done, I was like, yes, that's a very rewarding experience. But also when we did the Your It premiere back in February of this year, when we had like a big major crowd, like we had 2 theaters.
Yeah, it sold out. It was huge.
Did. And to have everyone just come out here and support the project and enjoy it. That was also reward. So it's very different. It's a very different feel. But I'm very stuck between those two so far.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm proud of everything I've done. But those two definitely would be like on top of the list.
So what was your favorite character to play?
Wow, that there's only one because everyone knows me as this character, and even though we have kind of like quit production on that series a long time ago, I actually still get known as this character from time to time. Even my dad will always remember me as that one character. He'll never remember anything else I do, but it's this character named Fenton Rivers. He was a detective that's also a psychic. That we did like in some kind of like a horror series called Dusk.
Okay.
That me and Ron worked together on, and that was a rewarding experience because it helped me gain the kind of like the confidence to be a leading character because I haven't done leading roles before. And Fenton, I always felt connected to that character because kind of like me, he can be very a bit of like an outsider, struggle with himself, with things that goes on in life, and I connect to this guy a lot.
So you could relate very well to that character.
Yeah, and make him
falls back to casting. You know, if the director sees that character in you, then he's going to extract that and let you just shine.
Well, actually, the truth is, Ron created that character for me.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
He
wanted me to make that character completely my own.
Okay.
And it worked. And I think that's why some people that I've met throughout the years, they would always say, James, you do such a great job as Fenton. I can relate to him. I think that my character really relates to those that struggle, in life when it comes to, them growing up and, maturing and going through dark times in their lives. I feel very humbled that, they can relate to my character that way. And I would love to keep playing characters like that. I'm very attracted to playing dark characters that, have, a bit of like a struggling past that they will eventually overcome it. Now, sadly, we didn't get to conclude Fenton's story, at least for now. I hope in the future we can. But yeah, I'm very glad that my character has resonated with some audiences.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's very rewarding too.
Yes.
When you get to sit back and look at your work and it's like, I did that. And you're forever going to be immortalized with that, years down the road. And this is what I tell everybody. And when they say, why'd you get into film? Why? And I'm like, this is my ticket to immortality. When 30, 40, 50 years from now, when I'm gone in history, my kids, my grandkids, their kids will get to go back and watch it and be like, that's my grandpa, or that's my great grandpa, And for those brief moments, you're living and breathing and doing what it is that you enjoyed. So it's a way to, because now you look at a film or a TV show that was filmed back in the 70s, most of those actors are gone.
Yeah.
And you don't think about that because while you're watching it, they're entertaining you. And they're, like I said, living and breathing and doing what it is that they enjoy doing.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of gets you that, brief moment of immortality, So
Absolutely.
I think it's very it's kind of like a legacy. It's very rewarding, and you get to show off what talent you have, and get to relay that to other people through your character.
Of course, yeah. I share that same feeling. I want to be able to, leave behind a good legacy that my family will look back and feel proud of the work I've done.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break, so we're going to get something to drink, but now a word from our sponsor.
You want to create content, but you need options. Noda Art House has sets, backdrops, an infinity wall, and much more. Click the link below to learn more.
Hey, and we're back with Creatives in the Spotlight, here with James again. Now, James, apart from the acting and the editing, you've got a YouTube channel too, right?
I do.
Okay, so what kind of films can we expect to see on your YouTube channel?
It's so I namely just post anything that either I impose by like, if I'm given permission to post the films I worked on my channel, I will do that. Like so far, I have posted our 2 Punisher films that we have recently done. But everything else, if they're uploaded on another channel, what I do is I create a playlist, and they're all like formed together. Like if anyone looks, there's like a my filmography playlist. That's where I have everything, so that everyone can be able to watch my work, whether I was acting in something, editing something, doing sound, etc.
That's awesome. So what's your YouTube channel called?
You know,
I mean, if somebody were to get on YouTube and
Right.
say, I got to check this out. So,
well, this is going to be a funny story. My YouTube channel has gone through many names in the past. It currently is called Empire Fan Productions because that's a play at my favorite Star Wars film, The Empire Strikes Back, which yesterday was its 45th anniversary, by the way. I used to be called Star Wars Boy, or then I changed it to the initials of my name, and then I changed it to James Reacts because I was a reviewer at the time. And then some of them, a lot of my fans will remember this name. It used to be called James's Universe. Because that was like, I treated it as like my whole little center of me discussing anything pop culture related. But then eventually I decided to change it up because the community got a little more toxic than I could handle. And I decided to reserve it to just strictly using it as a platform to post my film work.
okay, fantastic. And how many films do you think you got on your channel right now?
Wow. Altogether, I lost count, like close to maybe 20, I think.
Okay.
And that's including trailers, promos, and all that.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So you guys get a chance, go check out his YouTube channel. And if you're an actor or a creative and you want a reel created, hey, hit James up. He's very affordable, very well established in the film industry, and very good at what he does.
Absolutely, yeah. Please reach out to me on my social media, and we will discuss, my rate and everything. We'll go from there. I charge very, like Paul said, I charge very reasonable. I don't try to drain people's bank accounts.
Right. You're not doing it to pay your bills. You're doing
No.
it for fun and to help everybody out.
Absolutely,
And do what you enjoy doing.
yeah. Because I do it because I want everyone. Like, if you're an actor or director or stuntman, whatever, I want to help y'all get your work out. I want to make you look professional and desirable to any future company that wants to hire you for their films. So
Right. And the way you put together the reels, you show the different characters that they've played.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fantastic because, when they put that on their IMDb and a director's looking for, somebody to fit a role and they get to see the different characters you've played, then it shows a lot of, hey, this guy's got range,
Yeah.
And it really does help, whether it be a character that they actually want to portray that you've got some experience in or something close to it. So it's very, very helpful in this industry. And I can't give you, like
Absolutely,
I said, enough props in that department because it's phenomenal, the work you do.
Yeah, brother, I do it for you because you've had my back for so many years. You've been so good to me. And, even if it's just, I mean, sometimes here's what's weird. Sometimes I'll just make a reel for you just out of laziness because either, something great happened either with you or with us. And I'm like, you know what? I got to show Paul my love for him because, he's got so much cool stuff on his resume. And I feel like I haven't shown enough of it yet.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, hopefully you'll get a lot more when a bunch more films come out. I think I've got 4 or 5 coming out between now and the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see them. And, I say that, but I actually hate seeing my own films because, it's like, I look horrible in that shot. Or, I could have done that better.
You're our worst critic.
Yeah.
Aren't we all like that?
Yeah.
That's why I don't really make reels for myself. But, I mean, I had to do one recently just to kind of, like, spice it up and, give people a taste of what I got coming up. The sooner we can get our film You're It out, the sooner I can start showing more epic stuff from that.
Yeah.
Which it comes out on streaming August 12th, right?
Yes, August.
But we don't know yet what platforms.
No, there's been some rumors, this, that, and the other, but, we'll know more once distribution is, finalized and, and we're allowed to talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we weren't supposed to.
Oh, no. We didn't violate the NDA. But it will be coming out August 12th, and we hope you guys see it and enjoy it. There's been films that I've been in that people are like, oh, man, it was great. You did great, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how did it end? And they're like, what do you mean? I didn't watch it. No, you didn't see it. I'm like, no. But I heard it was good.
Yeah, I've had that feeling where someone would thank me for something I did in a film. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to violate anything. But
Right.
But I was hoping they would appreciate it for something else I did for the film. But they appreciate it for something else. I'm like, that's really all? That's it? Now that makes my other skills feel underappreciated.
Yeah,
but I accept their compliments either way, but, I was kind of hoping they would appreciate the other skills I put into it, but oh well. It is what it is.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, James, I really want to thank you for coming in today and spending this time with us here on the show, kind of help promote you and let the audience know a little bit about what you do and your background. And it's been a really good experience, a really good chat today. I
Absolutely,
really enjoy it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great. I hope this really helps get word out. So hopefully people will check this out and want to hire me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, guys, also, like I said, if you're an actor and you need a good reel, hit James Hurley up. He's on Facebook, Instagram.
I do not have Instagram.
No Instagram. But on Facebook, so hit him up and check him out. He does some really phenomenal work. He's very well known in the indie film industry here in Charlotte. And he would be valuable asset. So, guys, again, thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out next week's show. Thanks.